This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with that prize guy. I'm delighted to be joined all the way down under with the bomber Owen Corrigan. How are you?
All good. How are you, mate?
I am fantastic. I guess we're into another busy week. You're just over 2 weeks out from Fight Four as a pro. It seems weird now, Owen. We're doing Zooms. I actually met you in person, obviously, in Three Arena in September. So we're now able to not just know each other from a long distance, sort of Australia and Belfast, but I've met you in person now. You've been home and experienced your first professional card as a pro. Did it feel different to you, sitting in the Three Arena watching the boxing? I guess in some ways, many people maybe might have known you were a pro boxer and things like that, so you got pieced to watch the boxing in some ways. But did it feel weird for you now watching the boxing at home as a pro?
Yeah, definitely. The last time I was watching boxing, professional boxing in Ireland was, I think it must have been in Galway or Belfast. Whenever Kevin, I was down in Cork maybe when Kevin fought someone down there. It might have been, but yeah, like that. You're just, you're going down to watch it. You're supporting. But then I was back training the Lewins gym, and then obviously went to the media day with the boys with Kevin, and then had the fight day as well. So yeah, it's crazy because you're seeing it from a different perspective, and then you're also like you're looking at lads, you're sizing them up because there's potential that one day you could fight them, or yeah, you're just looking at. It was also very inspiring when you're looking at it, you're thinking like this is what I'm here for. This is what I'm doing. Like this is what we're building for. So yeah, it was definitely different.
And you got to see Mick Conlan fight in person as well, which was probably another box sort of tick for you in some ways to go. The career Mick had as an amateur, he's fought twice for world titles. You can now obviously say no matter what you do in life that you probably met one of your idols in the sport.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, look, I've always been a fan of Mick. Mick's a great guy. I've met him a few times now. Every time I've met him, he's been nothing more than a gentleman. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and there's times where he stops, he chats to you, and there's no need for it. Like most guys in his positions will try to pan me off as quick as they can. I met him when they made him last. I met him before they cancelled the RDS show, and myself and I think it was with Jono Lewins. The two of us were chatting and giving us advice. We were asking him questions. He was giving us straight answers, and then even I met him at the media day and like that again, asking questions, straight answers, no messing around. But then yeah, seeing him fight, especially with the walkout we did with I think he had James McLean and Simon Zebo, and he had the entrance he had. It was yeah, it was brilliant. And obviously got the knockout. I thought it'd be a harder fight than what it was, but he turned up, and it's good to see him back. And hopefully he gets that Josh Warren fight or another fight that can set him up for hopefully a world title fight.
It's in some ways, does that add something to your game now? Obviously, that you've been inspired, sort of. You've met Mick in person, you've watched him fight, you've seen his entrances and things like that. Does that inspire you even more, knowing that what you're doing, you chasing your dreams, that one day that could be you in that position?
100%. You know what it was? When I went over, I was kind of glad to be back home and see my family. And then when I went back into the gym with Jono, Parky, and Nicky, and we're hitting pads and all, I was like, it really just put a lot more belief back in myself. Just literally hitting pads them again, and then I sparred, I think David Kennedy and I sparred Sean Mackey, and putting up with them, and then being on the media day and fight day. I came back over here just hungry, proper hungry, like real hungry. Got into the gym straight away, and I had a massive belief. So I was straight back into camp for this fight then, and like I've kind of brought that hunger throughout. Like I really can't wait for fight night now after you know being on that stage by Mick Conlan and seeing all them. Now I was like, I want to get through this now. I want to get stuck into that.
Like, was it different and sort of weird for you in some ways? Like the last time you walked out of Lewin's boxing gym, you were still an amateur. You were going to America, going to Australia. You're now back as a professional fighter, 3-0. Like, did it feel weird sort of walking in the door? Like, obviously doing pads and things, but I guess it's just back to normality. But did it sort of feel weird? We were going, you know, it was literally like a this is your life sort of moment there. Like, as if you'd time traveled.
Yeah, it definitely was. It was strange, and I still getting not giving it, but getting corrected on stuff that I was doing wrong last time. That I was still doing wrong now, and I was getting there's things I'm doing better now that I wasn't doing better then, and but like going back and then having different experiences and being like, oh, when I fought this that or when I did that, and then like you're looking at like, oh, well, I can take this into my game a bit differently because obviously when you're an amateur, you're looking at different aspects. You're looking at three rounds, 3 minutes, and looking at more rounds now. Like so, it's yeah, it was different. You see, when you got different experiences, you can learn on them and you can use other stuff to just try help develop you that bit more. You know.
Coming up now, obviously, I know your fourth fight in just over 2 weeks' time is pretty much um nearly a year to the day since you made your debut. Like, to get four fights in your debut year, like, that's brilliant, particularly when you're far away from home. It's the struggles and having to sell tickets and trying to meet new people and things like that. Like, you're happy with the progress you've had so far, getting your fourth fight within a year of turning pro.
Yeah, definitely. Like I'm very grateful to like I'm very appreciative to everyone that's came out and support. Like there's guys that are coming that came to all my fights. They've won two and three. There are a lot of people to thank for. There's a huge Irish community in Perth. So you got guys from all over the country coming. There's a big crowd from Kerry coming. There's a big crowd from Derry coming. There's lads from Galway. There's lads from Wicklow, Dublin, and then also then all my sponsors. I've had sponsors that have sponsored me from start till now. Like got Nasdaq Electrical, I got Pipeline Technics, Cars HQ came into this camp, and I don't think any of them realise how important it is for me and how appreciative I am because without them, without selling these tickets, without getting the financial backing, it's impossible. Like it's a very hard sport. So I'm very grateful, and also to the lads in the gym, to my promoter Tony Toes for keep pushing me, keep looking to actually get me on the cards. I'm grateful, but yeah, be four fights in a year, so that's not most guys get 3 fights a year, so 4 fights I'm very happy with. I think even then going 2026, once you get through this fight, it'll be another active year.
Like, you probably could have had another one in there as well if you didn't have to come home for a wedding and things like that. Like, obviously you have that break now from May to November, so like you could have probably had another one within that time period. So at least a bit of a rest, probably the last few months, probably done your body the world of good as well.
Yeah, I'm saying like, look, I was planning on being on the card actually, but I was just needed a break. Just needed a break. I had 3 fights kind of back to back, and then I had a break from last November to March, I think it was. But probably one of the biggest things I learned in my first year as a pro is when to take breaks, when to rest or recover, because I was trying flat out straight through. I was non-stop, and by the end of that fight, I was burnt out, and then I was back into another camp straight away. So by the time the third fight had finished, I, I genuinely just needed a break. So that's why we took that one off, and we've had a few months off, not off, like still training and conditioning and working on small things, but not with the same intensity of a fight loom. So yeah, no, I could have got five, but I'm happy with four. We'll see what next year brings.
Obviously, 28th of November, probably it's first five rounder, obviously, and it's trying to do things a bit different. Obviously, you started off with four, now you do five. I think they can do six and you can do seven. I think you maybe even do nine in fights. Like, is it weird for you in some ways where it's really like a sort of like a baby step up, sort of, went from four threes to five threes. Obviously, a similar opponent. You've obviously fought Liang Wang before. Like, there's much change for you in that respect. Like, obviously, an extra 3 minutes could be obviously you know a, I know sometimes it's easier to say it's only 3 minutes, but 3 minutes in the ring's a long time.
3 minutes is a long time. Doesn't change a whole lot in terms of the mentality going in. Because 5 rounds is only 5 rounds. If you lose two, well then you have to win three. Um, the last time I fought Liang, I don't make excuses. My performance wasn't good enough. I got sick the week of the fight, and I just remember at the end of the first, struggling. I couldn't catch my breath. But I made it through the 4 rounds. Do you know what I mean? So like, I'm not making excuses or nothing, but I just feel like I get things right from now till fight night. and turn up ready on the night, I could do 10, do 12. So I reckon five rounds is for me is plenty, and I'll be happy walking out. So yeah, same mentality. Don't be giving away rounds. Obviously you got the extra round, you can build it up a bit slower, but I don't want to be chasing the fight, so it's gonna have to be from the start.
Was it you that wanted the rematch with him again? Obviously, is it probably down to the talent pool of fighters and stuff that's there? Like, I guess when you won the first fight, like, what's the need for sort of doing it again? Like, there's probably more pressure on you to deliver again than there probably is in the opponent. So, like, why the need for the rematch?
Yeah, it was me that wanted it. I want tough fights. I want like good development fights. I want to be hitting the domestic scene next year. So for me, they come back and fight him can give me an idea of how far we've progressed, what I did wrong last time, what I'm doing better this time. Um, we wanted a tough fight, so we're looking around. We're going, well, who's going to give us a tough fight? Who do we know is going to turn up trying to beat me, and who's going to be a good development fight? So we said, well, let's give this man a rematch. Like some guys thought he won. You know, like me personally, I don't see how you can think that, but it's how we're going to develop. So we can we have the privilege now to go. This guy's going to come back even better. So it's just a way we can check the trajectory.
So like some people actually thought that he won the first fight. So is that why in your head you want to do it again to put any doubt of anybody to bed? So that no matter where you go in your career, people can go, yeah, you avoided giving him a rematch, blah blah blah. So it's for your own peace of mind that you want to do this again.
Yeah, there's a bit of that. Like I think there's a lot in this sport that you want to prove people wrong, but you also have to just not listen to certain people. Um, there was people on the night saying that they thought he was hard done by, but I watched the fight over like about 10, 20 times, and I just can't see how he could have. So yeah, there is that. I want to just put it to bed and say, well, look, there you go, bet him and bet him in style, hopefully. So the pressure is there, obviously, because whenever there's a rematch and you won the first fight, is you can't just go back and do enough to win. You have to do it in style. You have to either go for a knockout or just really comprehensively get the victory. So that's what we're gonna have to do. And to be honest with you, I'm comfortable in doing it. I'm not feeling too much pressure over trying to do an outstanding victory. I reckon it'll just come naturally.
And like you've had a win again since. Obviously, he's fought like he hasn't fought since he's last fought in March. So like there's a lot more beneficial in terms of you were maybe things you did wrong with his sickness and things like that in the first fight with him. You've had a fight since. You got another stoppage win. He hasn't fought since. So, the cards are all taken in your favour, not to add extra pressure onto what it is, but you know, you're only right to feel confident that you're going to put things right that didn't go right for you the first time around and put in a more convincing performance.
Yeah, definitely. I know he has had fights that fell through, so it's not like he's coming back from being unfit. Like he's gonna be fit. He's gonna be fitter than last time. He's gonna be better than last time. But I work hard. I work very, very hard, and the harder I work and the harder I train, the more comfortable I feel in stepping into the ring. Because come fight night, I'll have ticked every single box and more that I could to be conditioned for the fight, to be ready for the fight. That I'll know even deep down if things start going wrong, I can just dog it out. I'll dog it out and I'll get the win. Um, so yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'm ready for it.
You will have seen the news this morning. Obviously, Paddy Donovan's going to be fighting Liam Paro in Brisbane in January. When you sort of see, Irish fighters, obviously there's so many Irish fighters already there, but when you really see a lot other Irish fighters coming, I know it's a no limit card and things like that. Like, are you sort of looking at it and you're ready sort of going to turn if I get through, a fight in a month? What's the chances you get me on that card? I know you want the bigger cards, you want the bigger opportunities. Even if you're the guy that opens the card with the first fight, you want to be on them cards so that it saves you having to buy a ticket yourself.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that fight was rumored a while, wasn't it? Really, I think we were talking about it recently. Um, to be honest with you, I seen the news this morning and I took it as a bit of bad news, really, because I was expecting that to be a headline main event. And I've saying to people in the business for a while, like, I want to be on that card. I don't care who I'm fighting. It could be Muhammad Ali, it could be Mike Tyson. I don't care. I want to be on that card. But obviously he's the co-main or undercard fight. I translate. I can't make sense of why you have one lad who's just fought for a world title against a former world champion on an undercard to two lads that are nowhere near world level. It does baffle me to a certain extent, but yeah, look, 2026, we get through this fight first, but 2026, I want to be pushing for domestic fights. I want to be pushing to get onto these cards. I'm happy with the platform I'm on now, but like I'm in this sport for a reason. I want to get to a certain level. I want to be winning titles. I want to be, I want to get myself out there, and I don't really mind if I'm opening the card, if I'm not on the TV fights. I don't mind. It just to get the experience of getting around these events.
Um, going to speak obviously probably two words, and it'll probably change your action, your face. Kevn Cronin, Irish champion. Like, did you bring him a bit of luck? Like, you come home in September, watch his fight in the Three Arena. He obviously the end of his fight with Cathal Cronin becomes Irish champion. Did you bring him home a bit of Australian luck? Did you?
Listen, I can't take any credit for that. Do you know what? I was so happy for him. Obviously the two fights with Jamie, the two fights with Emma, and then finally he gets to win Cottle. Like he's been hard done by more than anyone really. Like you look at his career, like I think without getting controversial, he's been hard. Like he's been robbed a few times, and he just keeps coming back. He doesn't know how to stop. He's like everyone says he got a dog in him, but you never know what you have until you get tested. And like Kevn's been tested too many times. He deserved that. I watched it. I think I watched the full card. To be honest with you, it was a good card, good fights on it. I thought Kevn would get him out of there like early enough. To be honest with you, but I think Carroll can take a lot out of it. Like Carroll showed toughness. Carroll showed that he's a good boxer. He's got style too. Like so, he'll be back as well. Like it's it was just a great win for Kevn. I was delighted for him. I was delighted for all the boys in the gym.
Is that another like sort of I guess sometimes you can take things from certain fighters and things like that, but when Kevin's someone you've been in the gym with and everything else, and you've seen the struggles, you've seen him coming through the heartache, and they finally get his winning moment, and finally now an Irish champion. Like, what does that do inside for you in terms of like does that inspire you in different ways? Like, are you running around Australia telling everybody that your mate's an Irish champion as a professional? Like, what does that do for you in terms of what you're doing in boxing?
I was definitely telling people I was mates with him anyway. But yeah, like I think that means like when you see somebody getting rejected so many times and controversial fights, whatever, and just keep coming back, not making an excuse, just keep coming back. Um, it definitely takes the quit out of it. Like it definitely it gives you that like no matter what happens, you can't give up. You can't give up because you'll get the more times you keep knocking, the more times you get there. So yeah, like you have to look at that as motivation. Do you know what I mean? Like because if you don't give up, you will get there eventually.
Your rematch, obviously, on at the end of this month. Like, in your head, how do you see the fight going? Like, you want the stoppage. You want to be 4-0 with three stoppage wins, completing your first year as a pro. Is that the best way to cap off year one as a pro?
That would be the best way. Yeah, definitely. You never go into a fight not wanting a knockout. And I'm spiteful like that. Like if I see him hurt, I'm gonna go for it. But he's a tough boy. Do you know what I mean? He's very tough. I hit him a lot of hard shots very early in the fight. Um, like I'm not getting in there looking for it. Well, not saying not looking for it. I'm looking to hurt him early, but it's not. I'm not banking on a knockout. I just see, to be honest with you, I just see myself being turned up on the night, getting everything right, and looking good in style, and just you know, just say hit and don't get hit. That's the plan.
You're
Quite
you're
simple.
not you're not the only Irish fighter on the card on the night. There's actually three of these on the card, and thanks to obviously promoter Tony, that because sometimes if you don't know a name to look for, you're not going to look at every name in box right and go, are they Irish? Are they Irish? Tony had actually reached out to me and obviously said that Holly mcmath is obviously originally from Ireland. You've obviously Binny that you've been on a couple of cards with as well. like it's a triple Irish celebration night.
Yeah,
Um, and obviously, which I think there's only been you and Binny before, isn't there? So the first time three of you, but on the one card. So there'll be a lot of Irish fans making a lot of noise in that night.
yeah. Aside the bar, we make plenty of sales anyway. Um, yeah, no, it would be great because I think the three of our crowds will all mix together, and like it. Same as me, my crowd and Binny crowd's done. My crowd supported him, vice versa. Um, yeah, like I was only looking the other day. I think Darragh Foley had on his story his debut, which was Thunderdome. Carroll made his debut on Thunderdome, so like it's been a great platform for Irish boxers.
Do you start to look at different venues now? I know you say you want on the bigger cards and things like that. Like, is there other venues, bigger venues close by? Because I guess like I'm not sure, obviously, because I haven't been able to see too much of a Thunderdome, but like, how much capacity wise does it hold?
Big enough. I say it'd be the York Hall of Western Australia. Like the atmosphere builds nicely. It'd be intimidating to come if you're an away boxer. So I'm glad I'm the home boxer. But yeah, like what I'd like, I want to hit the domestic scene. I've said probably 10 times already in this interview. But I mean, like I want to, if I have to head over to different parts of Australia, win titles, different parts of Australasia, even win titles, come back, create a platform, and then we can look at different venues then to headline to defend, or we can attract talent from elsewhere. Um, 2026 we probably a lot moving around. We looking to fight elsewhere over on the east side of Australia. I want to fight in Dublin maybe next year. So definitely next 2026, 2027 to be headline in bigger place in Western Australia.
It's great to hear you obviously mentioning back home because I know when we spoke before on it, you were like, I'm not sure. Now you've been home and you're seeing obviously how busy and you're obviously in the group with us with Jay and everything else, and you can see the passion stuff that comes. Like it would probably be one regret for you if you didn't, because the longer you go out there in Australia without fighting at home, it's harder to do. Whereas if you can plan it around ways and sort of go, let's get a fight back home. Like I know Jay's plans of potentially the Three Arena next year, the National Stadium, things like that. Like you're probably going to be torturing him privately to go, Jay, get me on one of your cards here in Dublin.
Definitely, I've known Jay since I was a kid. Um, was only chatting to him when on the media day for Mick fight, and he was kind of saying that I'll have to come back next year anyway for a bit. How about trying to get on a card for maybe June, May, June? So yeah, I'll be looking at those dates, but I won't be organising anything until after this fight. But yeah, I know a good crowd from over here that want to come over to watch me fight over there, and then obviously there's people back home, back in Wicklow and Dublin that want to come out and support me. I'd love to do a camp with the boys in Lewins gym. I think I could learn a lot from that. I think I'd develop lovely if I got one or two camps in. So yeah, it's I reckon it'll happen. I reckon we'll get a fight over there next year.
You're not getting homesick, are you, just yet, Owen? Like you're not sort of going, come home for a fight and then stay again. You're not getting homesick and you want to come home full time. You just want to come home and experience fighting here as a pro rather than just doing it all out in Australia.
So it is, and I used to be watching this, but when I was back home living with my mum, she's no good of a cook, so I don't miss it at all. She'll kill me for saying that, but
You've got used to the Vegemite in Australia.
I don't eat that crap as well. But I mean, there's better food anyway. Well, there's better food back home, but I mean, not my mum's cooking.
Maybe she doesn't want to cook good for you so that you stay away.
Yeah, that's probably the case.
So if your mum's cooking was good, you would never have left for Australia in the first place. So your mum's the reason you're out down under.
I won't answer that. Should be. I'm in enough trouble as it is.
You'd definitely be taken off the Christmas card list for sure.
100%, and the birthday card, whatever else.
But definitely that's the goal for you in 2026. You want to get a fight in Dublin. I guess, probably repay people that are maybe having to watch your fight online or having to buy pay-per-views and things like that to be able to watch you fight. You want them to be able to experience you fighting at a normal time where they can watch you fight in person rather than on behind a screen or on a TV.
Yeah, 100%. So they're watching their awkward times and all, and then they're looking at you know, the nights we're putting on, whatever. Like if you got a good crowd of people from back home in the local pubs beforehand, pubs after, give them something to enjoy, to give back, to say thanks. But yeah, also like you're saying, to take it off the bucket list, the longer you're away, the less likely it is to come back and fight. Like look at Dennis Hogan only fought in Ireland at the end of his career. Like don't want to leave it that long. Like if you have the opportunity now, let's take it.
Definitely, I totally agree on that. Well, look, it's a pleasure to obviously get a catch up with you. Obviously, it's the first interview we've done since before your fight three as a pro. I've obviously met you in person in at 3 Arena in September. We obviously wish you all the very best of luck as always for fight number 4 at the end of the month. And I'm sure we'll catch up with you soon to hear all about obviously fight 4 and what's to come afterwards.
I'm saying appreciate it, Steve. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Owen. Good to catch up, and I'll speak with you soon.
Catch you soon, mate.
Cheers,
Cheers.
take care. Thanks. Bye
Bye.
bye. Bye bye. Bye.